buy it, 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 buy it.
Really. I was going to do a thing where I yeeted this pile of trash into the fucking river and watched it flow away, but apparently water's a precious commodity in Australia, so... Where's that fucking bird? I saw a bird around here somewhere. Where the fuck did he go? Bird! No, come back. I want to give you the game. You little bitch. Not even birds want Spyro. Oh, screw it. Who cares? Jeet! Oops. I don't know if I filmed it, but it went up there. Well, this bit went fucking horribly. I have two claims to fame. One, that I can sing 1 week by the Bare Naked Ladies flawlessly, even the bit with the clubs with the tiny nubs. Two, I once sculled 2 liters of chocolate milk at school without breaking a sweat. Alright, 3 claims to fame, I lied. 3, I beat the original Spyro the Dragon 14 times. How do I know? I kept a tally in my sketchbook, next to the terrible little drawing of me as a dragon. I wish I could show you, 9-year-old me was such a bad artist, let me tell you what. Anyway, I really loved Spyro as a kid, so when I heard they were remaking the original Spyro trilogy for current gen, I almost squealed. And now that I have it in my hot little hands, I'm glad to say it doesn't disappoint. The Spyro Reignited Trilogy has rekindled my love, why didn't I write Reignited, for my favourite purple dragon, as the games have been lovingly recreated from the ground up and kept as close as possible to the original source material. Though it could have benefited from a little more time in the oven, it's something I can easily recommend. Spyro controls brilliantly, and I feel like I'm just playing through a one-to-one recreation of the old games, which is fantastic news as I was worried that we'd have another Crash and Sane Trilogy situation on our hands, what with a tighter jump arc and rounded hitboxes. But nope, aside from 1 or 2 jumps feeling a bit tougher, everything here is spot on. Scratch that, it feels better than ever before. Having full analog control benefits these games greatly, while having full camera control tied to the right stick is a godsend. Each of these games has been near perfectly recreated, from the small but dense level design of Spyro 1 to the cutscenes and character interactions of 2 to the many different playstyles of 3. They even went above and beyond in a few aspects, such as creating these extremely fuckable dragons to replace the 4 or 5 palette swap models of Spyro 1 that are animated so fluently you could plop them in a 3D animated movie and they wouldn't feel out of place. Although, with how much effort went into these designs, it's disappointing that some of these dragons still get very little dialogue. It's a shame to see this immensely detailed dragon appear and then all he says is, "Thank you for releasing me," before he buggers off. Nothing wrong with a one-to-one recreation of a game, but this is where they could have gone above and beyond, and it's a shame that they didn't. No skin off my nose, it's barely an issue, but still. Also, it's a bit strange how, after 20 years, the advice these dragons give is entirely useless. You figure out you have to flame the big baddies because they're too large to charge, but then you reach the next area and free a dragon and they're like, "Oh, I've got the biggest itch on my asshole. Anyway, I'll tell you a secret, Spyro. You should flame the big enemies." Again, minor nitpick, but it just feels strange. Anyway, Spyro 1 held up a lot better than I thought it would, considering how simplistic it is. Every level follows the same gameplay loop of defeating enemies who either wait for you to get near them or charge you on sight and almost never anything else, collecting gems, freeing dragons, and finding dragon eggs. The fresh look of paint helps every level stand out more, and the theming of the level is much more apparent. The Artisan's world actually has art motifs now, for example. Bosses don't hold up very well though, it's usually just hitting them, often before they can do anything, then chasing them down and doing it again 2 more times, to the point where the final boss is literally just chasing 2 thieves, then chasing Gnasty Gnorc himself. At the very least, they didn't remove or censor the soldiers' butts and peacekeepers, therefore making it a 10 out of 10 remake. Spyro 2, Gateway to Ripto's Glimmering Rage, is probably the best of the trilogy, keeping the gameplay squarely focused on maneuvering Spyro across platforms and ramming his horns into unsuspecting livestock, but also introducing a few missions and minigames that still focus on Spyro as the playable character. The jump in quality between Spyro 1 and 2 is immediately apparent because A, it actually has charming cutscenes, Cassandra Lee Morris does such a great job as Allura, oh my god you guys, and B, the bosses don't suck nearly as much. Spyro 3 is where things get a little dicey, but it's still a fun time. This is very much the Jak 3 or Crash Bandicoot The Wrath of Cortex of the series. You're still Spyro, you still jump on things and stick your horns in things, but now you're also a flying penguin, a yeti, a cheetah, a dragonfly, a kangaroo literally named Sheila because every female in Australia is named Sheila, I know this for a fact, and a gun-toting monkey. Yes, they add variety to the gameplay, but much like the aforementioned games, you just want to jump around as the main character, but instead you're forced to play some ridiculous minigame like Rock'em Sock'em Yetis. Oh my fucking god, who coded this trash? Who hurt you? Also, Spyro 3 is weirdly buggy. There's all sorts of little glitches here and there, such as this screen obscuring glitch when I played as Sergeant Bird. This is what I mean when I said it could have used a bit more time in the oven. Also, motion blur. Personally, I don't care, but then again, I'm the brainlet that doesn't mind 30 FPS, so my opinion doesn't count. You will care. You will get motion sick. Devs, if we could get a patch to fix this ASAP so we can get everyone on Twitter to shut their pie holes about it, then that'd be great. If it sounds like I'm a bit too critical, it's because I am. I get it. These are remakes. They're not designed to necessarily be better than the original games. They're designed to make this game look like how you remember it. I just wish that they did a bit more, I guess. Maybe I'm just being a bit greedy, which according to the internet I am. Remember when I said the dragons were fuckable? I wasn't kidding. But I just wanted to talk about observations I made instead of reviewing the trilogy as a whole, because plenty of people have already done that. Whether it's the Reignited Trilogy like my man Calcom here, or the original PS1 trilogy like my man Petronius. If you want a further in-depth look into the original Spyro games and the remake, I suggest giving these videos a go. I'll link them all in the description and at the end of the video. Either way, I do recommend the Spyro Reignited Trilogy if you're into platformers and if you love the original games. They're a little dated by today's standards, but only just. They remain some of my favorite platformers of all time despite their age, and I hope that it not only introduces a new audience to this precious child, but helps to usher in even more 3D platformers, or even more Spyro games that aren't beat-em-ups, or Toys to Life Diablo clones. Anything but those, please. Also, I have a steelbook case. It's okay, everyone.
These are the latest military hardware. DBX-9 rocket launchers, state-of-the-art.
So why didn't you use them to escape?
Because I have limited ammo, and I wanted to conserve it. For this.
Thank you to my $5 tier patrons: Mitchell Reese, Nation McAltal, Pierre Cretem, Leo LX50, Amber Jokum, oh god, Global Truncation Error, Laurent Lacroix, Sheepy, Loomis Doomis, Scubo, Tyler, KASZUBA, Chatterestop, Gorp Nakan, Cooper James Price, I'm great at this, Sebastian Orbe, Nathaniel Forrest, Travis Miranda, Thomas Hart, Lazaro Dave, Dalek Boy, and the Ruby Red Rose. Regardless of how much you're pledging, I greatly appreciate the support. Thank you guys so much. Also, be sure to check out Calcom and Petronius as well. Their links are in the description and also coming up in like 7 seconds if you're too lazy to scroll down. Anyway, thanks for tuning in.
Love you.